Hello everybody and welcome to the stream! How's everybody doing? And welcome back to another episode of Winging It, the interview show where nothing is set in stone and the rules don't matter. I am your host, June Koumori, and we have a very special guest today. This is YamaNekoTsubasa. Neko, would you like to say hi to everybody?
Hi everyone, it's your Canadian cowboy VTuber, YamaNekoTsubasa. Nice to meet everyone.
Yay! Before we get started, how are the audio levels, everybody? Everybody sounds okay? Not too loud, not too quiet? Tried to balance it a lot more this time. Had some issues in some of the previous ones. It's good? Okay, awesome, awesome. Also, guys, I will apologize forthwith. I'm not 100% today, but we are going to do our best and chug along. This might be a lot more relaxed than what we're used to with all the chaos and whatnot, so we're just gonna take it real easy today. YamaNekoTsubasa, thank you so much for joining us today. I'm so excited to have you.
Thank you very much for inviting me.
Of course. We'll start off with some easy questions. Would you like to do a general greeting for the rest of my chat who may not know who you are?
Oh, sure. Hello, everyone. As I said, my name is YamaNekoTsubasa. It's a Japanese name. Tsubasa is my first name, even though it comes after. Yamaneko is my last name. Translation, it simply means, for my last name, Yamaneko. It can mean one of two things usually, a mountain cat or a wild cat. Tsubasa means wing, like the wings of a bird.
Oh.
And as for what my personal content is, it's usually just gaming. I play a lot of Genshin Impact. Recently I've been playing 7 Days to Die modded with some friends.
Nice.
And even more recent, KU dropped the Holocure update, so I'm busy being addicted to that game again.
Good choices, good choices. Give me just a moment. I'm gonna drink a little water. Okay, so you kind of already got into the second question a little bit. Just naming some of your interests, some of your hobbies. It can be streaming related, it can be outside of stream, whatever it might be.
Yeah, so my main hobbies actually languages. I know I don't really touch upon that anymore. I did kind of dabble in that early on when I was streaming, but not so much these days. But I've always been enjoying language learning. Canadian, native is English. With my family history, I speak Cantonese, and I actually don't know French. Contrary to what other people might assume from us Canadians, we may be taught French, but that doesn't mean I retain that knowledge. So
that's fair.
I am someone who took French for 4 years of high school. I have zero recollection of any of it. So unfortunately, I wasn't a great student. So I don't use it, and so I lose it.
You know what? That's fine though, because I think it's really cool that you speak Cantonese. That's awesome.
Yeah, funny story about my Cantonese is that I actually lost it for a time.
Oh.
And I guess the one thing that stuck with me was the fact that one of my relatives said that when I tried to speak Cantonese, it sounded really whitewashed. And I took that as an insult. So I did nothing but speak Cantonese with my family the whole time. And basically rebuilt my Cantonese from the ground up. Because I couldn't stand taking that as an insult.
Honestly, I love that for you. If no other way to learn a language, learning it through the power of spite.
That's kind of me as a kid growing up. If someone wanted me to do something, it's not happening. If someone doesn't want me to do something, oh, you know I'm going to do my best to ace it.
Okay, question number 3. When it comes to streaming, being a VTuber, what do you find that you enjoy the most about it?
chat interaction. I think hands down is the most fun thing when it comes to streaming in general, and streaming as a VTuber comes with its, I guess, audience perk too. But it's just having an audience really, I guess, sets the mood for what kind of stream it's gonna be.
Oh yeah.
Whether if it's like a stream where there's no one talking, only lurkers, or no one's watching, then I just kind of do my own thing. And while I do monologue a lot, I generally will stay a bit more on the quiet side. But if I know someone's there or someone's willing to interact, to chat, the amount of talking goes up tenfold.
Oh
easily.
yeah. Listen, I always be fighting with everyone in my chat. I'll just be playing video games and they will always be yelling at me. Or if your audience is June, everything becomes a hey, I'm watching you, Chronic. Oh gosh. And then, on a similar note, when it comes to streaming and being a VTuber, is there anything that you would say is like a big pet peeve, or that you personally find is like the most difficult, maybe like something that you enjoy the least?
That is a good question, actually. Pet peeve. I can't really. I guess my biggest pet peeve, now that I think about it, I do have one. It's when someone tries to talk with me, but it's completely off topic.
Oh.
And it's off topic to the point where they just completely stop talking to me, and they're just trying to get their conversation out in chat. Even if they're alone, I think that part confuses me more than anything else, and I guess I'm peeved about that, where someone starts monologuing in my chat.
Oh yeah.
Considering if they're like the only viewer, yeah, no, there's someone in particular I have in mind when I say that.
Dang.
But it's hard to describe for people who have never experienced it. I think it's so strange, because even for me, as I recount this, it's so strange to me how someone just goes ahead and monologues in a chat. If it was with someone else, I honestly wouldn't mind. If someone starts having a conversation in my chat with someone else, by all means, go ahead. I really don't care. I'm okay with that. I'm 100% okay with that. But if they start monologuing, I'm just like, am I supposed to interact with you at any point? This like, am I your therapist? Am I supposed to just listen?
I do feel that frustration.
I'm alright with listening, but yeah, no, it was weird because it's just starts from nowhere, and so I have to just kind of start assuming things. I'm like, okay.
Dang. I think I've only been in that position maybe once or twice, but that was normally when I like first started VTubing. So, you know, yeah, that's the internet for you.
Yep. That's for sure.
Okay, next question. Who would you say was probably your first inspiration? What kind of got you into the VTubing world?
Easily.
Oh yeah.
I think. When was it? 2016? Shoot. It was such a long time ago. Basically, Kizuna Ai was the first VTuber I watched, and that stemmed from coming off of Vocaloids, actually. Like it just so happened that the music brought me to Kizuna Ai. From Vocaloid to Kizuna Ai's covers and music, that's kind of where it all started out from. And then it's like, but it wasn't like trying to be a VTuber. It was more like, hey, this person makes really nice music. They have a great voice, and it's just another singer I listen to on YouTube. That's also where I found a lot of utaites, basically people who make covers of mainly Vocaloid songs, but they're like indie singers themselves.
Yeah.
And I think a lot of them have gone onto like mainstream stuff. I think one of the biggest ones out there is Kuro Neko. She's a very talented voice actress slash singer. But there's a lot in the scene, and well, granted, a lot of them have also retired to do their own thing as well. But, yeah, so it went from Vocaloids to that to finding Kisuno Ai, and then years down the road, that's when people started doing more VTuber stuff, and I was like, well, school is kind of meh. I'm gonna be finishing soon. I don't have a job because it's the whole lockdown thing's happening.
Yeah.
What do I do with my time? And so I was like, streaming, VTuber. This looks like fun.
Yeah.
And so I was like, all right, if I want to do this, I'm gonna be doing it myself. So everything from my model I built from the ground up using VRite Studio. I first my first Google search to start all this was literally, how do I make a model?
I think that was my first thing that I searched too.
Yeah, so it was like there's like live 2D stuff, and I was like, I can't draw. So I was like, all right, how do I do this if I can't draw? Let's go 3D. And I did that because I found resources that said, oh, if you can't draw, just use this program here, where even if you can't draw, you'll still be okay. I'm like, okay, and it was the VRite Studio 3D program. And yeah, I built I did all that, made myself a schedule. It was like, I'm only spending X amount of time with this and that. That way I will hit my deadline, and this is what I'll be working with.
Yeah.
That was my thought process going into it.
I can definitely...
So...
oh, you go ahead, sorry.
Oh, sorry. No, but my current model that I'm mainly using is my third version of my model. Version 3.
I can definitely relate to all those feelings, like searching up, not only like coming across VTuber content for the first time, but then immediately being like, how do people do this? And trying to search for resources online, stumbling across like VRite Studio and all the different things. And I definitely relate to all that, you know, made my, like, basically all of my own assets and stuff using just random resources I found online.
Pretty much.
Yeah.
It's honestly, the whole creative art aspect is still a struggle for me. I'm no artist. I've tried drawing, and it's so hard. I can do line arts. I think as far as art goes, my best has just been doing up to line arts. Anything trying to do shading and coloring is just such a different world for me.
Oh yeah. That's awesome to hear. I feel like Kizuna AI is a lot of people's first interactions when it comes to finding out what VTubers are, so that's awesome.
Everyone's saying, why did I turn glittery? That's really funny. I basically just switched my image. So let me just quickly revert that. You'll have another one of me now.
You guys cannot stop him. Unstoppable force.
So many things to work with here on my computer.
I love that.
So
all right,
things can change on a dime.
Yeah. Ooh, and then a very similar question is, who would you say are your biggest current influences? So it doesn't necessarily have to be who your first influence was, but like, who do you find that you end up consuming the most content from, that you like take the most from?
Let's see. In terms of consuming content, I would... Sorry. I'm just changing my image.
No, you're good. I got this. I got this. I watch a whole lot of Hololive. I think they're like one of the biggest branches, especially in the West. But I know Niji-Sanji's up there too, and I do watch them as well. There's I know Alice from Niji-Sanji, JP side.
with the whole Alice in Wonderland theme set for their gen
Oh,
kind of
yeah.
thing. I watched. I guess it wasn't really Alice in Wonderland. It was more like fairy tales, but
Mhm.
because Kibata, the Red Riding Hood inspiration VTuber from Niji-sanji also was also a big one I used to watch a lot of.
Mhm.
She has stopped streaming, so she has graduated, but definitely had a lot. I enjoyed watching her streams a lot. Paul, if we say Gura, I mean, Gura is definitely someone I've watched. Not a ton of, mind you, but I've consumed media from pretty much everyone in Hollow Live. For Hollow Stars, I enjoyed chilling with Roberto's streams, Asto's FPS streams with Valorant, Apex, and his singing streams are always nice to drop by in. Arulan has a lot of nice variety streams. He has a lot of different stuff going on. His DJ streams are really cool, and I enjoy just being in there to listen to his DJ music, to just music.
Yeah.
But I can go on all day about everyone I watch there. I think in terms of like, inspirations, I'll have to say it's and people I watch a lot on YouTube at the very least. It's these people. On Twitch, I think I consume the most from a friend of mine. His name's Exocel, and we became good friends over Mahjong, and we kind of do things here and again. He's a streamer from VTuber from Singapore.
Oh, that's awesome.
And I met a lot of cool people through him as well.
Oh, yeah.
And so in terms of just content I consume, it's him and another VTuber that kind of operates similar to the way, I don't know if you know who Kason on air is.
Oh, I know Kason, yeah.
Yeah, so someone who has an avatar but also does IRL face cams too. Another VTuber who does something like in like it's the same vein is someone named Wooly. She's like a frog VTuber. She does face cam streams too, but also has her own avatar. So those are like the two people on Twitch I watch the most.
Cool. I've probably already gone.
She still streams? No, I'm pretty sure Kibata. Sorry, I'm talking to Takagi.
You're good.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure I'm pretty sure I saw her graduation stream. I'm pretty sure she graduated.
Oh crap! I didn't know that.
Gibata. She's the infamous one who screeches like a monkey when she went to pull for her Idolmaster stream.
Oh yeah, I didn't realize she graduated.
I'm pretty sure I saw. I don't think I'm forgetting it. I'm pretty sure she stopped.
We can always fact check
that. She might
that.
be streaming under. Yeah, I'm pretty sure. Sanji. Let me do a quick fact check there. Because Otogibara era. Retirement day, 2021, March 10th. Yeah, she retired. Because I'm pretty sure I was watching her retirement stream, and I was thinking, I was like, if that wasn't her, who was I watching?
Oh gosh.
So I was waiting for the next time to change. Here's a fun one. This is probably my favorite fan art. Like all these 2D images are all fan arts, by the way, and this is by far my favorite.
Ooh, I'm excited.
Because it has to do with. It is my fan art from my first. In relation to my first model.
Oh my god, he's a little guy. Oh.
Potato. Yeah. So quick story about this. Not to go off on a tangent here. This fan art was because my first model was basically me wearing a potato sack as my clothing. It had more to do with it wasn't really a potato sack, but it was like very raggedy, sewn on, broken clothing and whatnot. Had more lore implications there, and I feel like that's something I don't really tackle much on my stream channel and whatnot. But my character does have lore and all that I don't really touch upon much, if at all. But it exists, and it'll always exist, so that's never going away.
Heck yeah. Ooh, okay, let me find my spot. Question number 7. How would you describe your relationship to your fan base?
That's a very good question. I think I'm just a chill guy that people enjoy watching at times. I think that's really all my relationship is, and I'm alright with that. I have some really cool people that shows up from time to time, and yeah, it's really hard to describe it since never really thought too much about it. For the most part, it's just I stream, play games, and we interact and chat.
Yeah.
I don't know how else to really describe, because we're at best acquaintances, I would say. In the sense of like they appear in my chat and I speak with them, or they appear in my Discord and we talk there every so often. On a scale of 1 to 10, how much do we resemble your chat? I would say a 3.
Don't let them fool
y'all
you.
Are much more talkative than my chat. So, yeah, like you guys don't want to be like my chat, who enjoys to sit back and not say much.
Yeah, you gotta beware of Chronic.
Y'all are way more talkative.
I mean, the way that I lovingly describe it as, half of it is mutual bullying, and then the other half are like, kind of like Momochi, simping a little bit. So that's kind of the way that my chat behaves. Do not let Chronic fool you.
Great.
Chronic will lull you into a sense of security.
No, that's fine. See, I'm very straightforward. If someone tries to pull the rug from underneath me, you're gonna get me to fall easily. I'm not one to be careful and watch out for things. I'm one that I just go with it. So you say something, I go and then you're like, psych, fooled you. I'm like, you got me.
You got me.
You got me.
Ooh, okay. Next question. Do you have any goals that you would love to accomplish as a streamer? Anything that comes to mind?
I suppose it's release cover songs. I think this would be my most immediate goal. I'm working on it. I'll get there eventually. But yeah, I in terms of like a realistic goal, I think that would be it. Aspirations and achievements, probably apply to Hall of Stars and see if I can ever make it in there.
Nice.
Just because everyone wants to like get the stardom, make it big and whatnot, but I have more realistic expectations than anything else. So I think I used to multi-stream. I used to stream on Twitch and YouTube at the same time.
Wow.
And did that for a long time. I recently switched over to Twitch because I chose to finally do my affiliation application. Because it's been. It's a funny thing about that. I got that. I got the off. Like I basically checked off all the requirements needed to be affiliate very early on when I started streaming. But I never did that because I knew if I wanted to be affiliated, I need to stop streaming on YouTube. That's part of the agreement.
Yeah.
So I didn't do that until recently.
Dang.
It was interesting for sure, streaming on YouTube and Twitch. It wasn't that big of a hassle to set up, honestly. So, but streaming to Twitch, it's kind of nice having my own emotes now.
I didn't realize that part
Don't have to be using the Bear TTV section.
Oh yeah. I didn't realize that part of the agreement for becoming affiliated with Twitch is like not streaming on YouTube anymore. I didn't realize that was a component of it.
It's exclusivity. There's a clause in there that says any content you put on Twitch is theirs for 24 hours.
Oh, okay.
So if you, for example, if you live stream on Twitch, that content cannot be on any other platform for 24 hours.
I didn't know that. Dang.
Yeah. I know some people still try to do multi, and good luck for those who are affiliated to Twitch and try to stream on other platforms. I don't know how Twitch reacts to that, but at least for me, I'm not really the type to try to push boundaries like that.
Yeah. Dang. I mean, I still have such a long way to go to ever reach like YouTube monetization status. But
Oh yeah.
I've made it known to my chat that, you know, of course this is like my passion. This is something that I really love doing. So whether or not I get monetized is not really like my priority, I guess.
Like for me, I always treated like this whole streaming stuff as a hobby more than anything else. So I've told my chat like, or I told basically anyone who watches me, always tell them I'll always be here. I'll always be streaming. When you'll never see me not stream unless I announce it like I'm taking a break or something. But I'll always be back. I'll always be streaming. And yeah.
Yeah.
I'll always be here. And if you ever want to come back and say hi, feel free.
That's a really good way of putting it. I know that probably helps put a lot of your viewers' minds at ease, just knowing that you will always be there. That's very sweet. Awesome. And then on a similar note, what do you think is the biggest accomplishment that you've already reached when it comes to streaming?
Biggest accomplishment, I would say, would be my current circle of friends I interact with.
Aww.
On this account, because yeah, I know I've met such a large group of people that I honestly would never have met otherwise.
Yeah.
I definitely was within my own comfort social circles with my like IRL friends, people who basically my school friends. I still talk with a lot of friends I met since grade school. We still hang out on Discord and play games and whatnot. Sometimes go out to the mall and stuff too, since we still live out in the same neighborhood.
Aww.
So yeah, I was completely fine with just sticking around with them. But definitely through VTubing and streaming, I got to meet so many cool people, like so many people. So yeah, it's definitely, I would say, one of my biggest accomplishments doing this.
And I think it's like pretty well known, like within the VTubing community, there's just such a like vast array of different people, and like there will always be at least one other person that like you'll be able to reach out to, and it's so easy to click and connect with other people in the community. So that's awesome to hear. I'm glad that you have that friend circle for yourself. That's awesome. Okay, next question, and I think this one is one of the fan favorite questions. Do you have any little bits of fun lore that you would like to share?
Did they want me to just recount my lore?
I mean,
it's a fairly it's a long one. It's a quick one. Let's see what I remember. Let's see here. Okay, so that's why they're all up and about lore earlier.
They love hearing about lore. Because they get mad at me that I don't have any lore, and I don't have any.
So my lore is something that came about as I progressed in my VTubing career. I'll call it career, sure. My VTubing hobby.
Yeah.
It is lore that was. It's like a choose your own adventure game as my lore expands. So it started off with me being a stray cat boy abandoned in the streets, picked up by someone known as Big Sis, who works at an orphanage. So I joined the orphanage, hence my clothing. That was where it all began. So from there, things moved on, and eventually I found all about this VTubing thing, streaming. So I decided to start doing that. and that was like the original tiny piece of lore. And you can actually find that information on my debut stream from all those years ago.
Awesome.
That's kind of what I said about that. And then lore continues as I meet up with I get introduced to a meetup with a group known as the Iron Lions, led by who we call Boss, aka Yuma Yamano, who also streams on Twitch. And so I get introduced to a lot of cool people while in that group. And so my appearance actually changed for a couple months to my second model, and that was when, lore-wise, I was given some hand-me-down school uniforms to wear. So you got some dirtied old school uniforms. And that was my second model for a very short period of time. During this period of time, too, things progress, and as I'm hanging out with friends and stuff, we're playing games, chilling. Things take a slight turn for the dark, as all lore does, for some odd reason. And my character disappears altogether for a time. And moving on to Model 3, as it turns out, my character as a catboy is actually a bakineko. For those who don't really know what that is, it's just like a monster cat. Think of it like a yokai from Japanese myths and stuff, myths and legends. And my form of a catboy is just like my appearance form that I want to look like. And I'm currently being held inside a test tube, test chamber. Basically, I don't know if you know, like those giant chamber things that has liquid in them.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, I'm in one of those, and this big sis character was actually like a scientist working in that facility, and this whole orphanage was just a setup.
Oh.
And I'm being held captive in there, and then basically my friends break me out. And yeah, that's how the lore is at the moment. I haven't really worked on it since.
That is a super awesome lore. Again, my audience is a little mad at me for not having like any.
I mean, my lore really is just made up on the spot as life progresses.
It's
like
good.
A lot of the characters are pulled from people I interact with, and they just get dropped right into the story as these characters.
Awesome. And it's cool that you're like part of a group and stuff. I love that.
Yeah, I joined the Iron Lions. It's been a while since I spoke with them, but as I kind of started hanging out a lot more with the Singapore people and people from across the planet, because a lot of my stream times kind of line up with theirs.
Oh, okay.
Or like my free time is able to line up with theirs occasionally. So I'm like with them playing Valorant or Mahjong. They played Scribble.io yesterday.
Nice. Awesome. Ooh, this next question is also a fan favorite one. If you had to pick any either VTuber or streamer or even just a celebrity, who would you say would be added to like your dream collab? Who do you like see yourself wanting to be like in a collab with?
Oh. This is probably the strangest part about my whole VTubing career, is that there's this one person on YouTube who I actually have a membership for, and they're a VTuber, and their name is Nina. And they're predominantly a Mahjong Soul streamer, and yeah, I watch their content pretty religiously in a sense of like, they're like the only channel that I really like, and with a common passion, which is mahjong. And so it's like, if I were to collab, that would be like the dream collab. Just because, despite the whole language barrier thing, or I'm not that fluent in Japanese, I can listen to a lot of words, but I won't be able to like really parse the meaning too much outside of grabbing context clues. But yeah, I would one day love to collab with that person, but like that's a dream more than anything else, because they're like, in terms of Mahjong Souls, like the Mahjong Soul streamer that I enjoy listening to the most.
Yeah.
It's funny because the both of us, me and her, have a person we both look up to, and she's known as Simba Crow, who's like a top tier JP Mahjong Soul player. In terms of like ranks, she's pretty much up there, like at the highest rank in Mahjong Soul. So yeah, it's just really funny that we both have like stuff like that. That's similar.
Having that similar interest and being as dedicated to it as both of you are. That's really, really cool. Ooh, okay. Next question. Do you have any skills that you would love to learn, either on stream or like for streaming purposes?
I would say the Japanese language. I've tried doing learn Japanese streams before, whether it be using pen and paper with a cam. I've done that before in the past.
Nice.
Also Duolingo. Didn't really get far in those streams. It's really hard to do learning streams on stream. I must admit.
Yeah.
But aside from that, coding is another one I want to learn on stream. Drawing. I've done some art streams, but drawing is just so hard. And yeah, I guess my next thing, the next long project on stream thing, is probably going to be making another VTuber model for myself, probably.
Lord knows it does take so long to make a whole other model.
Yep.
Awesome. Okay. Ooh, we kind of touched on this a little bit already, because I know you had mentioned about potentially applying to Holostars. But do you have any like big opinions when it comes to being an independent streamer versus either being in a group or even to the level of being like a corporate VTuber?
Opinions, thoughts on the matter? I mean, it's ultimately just what you want to do, because the way I see it, it's like there's independent, and you can do fairly well independent, but in terms of like, I suppose, going corporate, it's all about the difference in marketing. How much reach do you have, and how much effort you're gonna put into getting that reach.
Yeah.
With company and brands, usually they have a lot more marketing power, whether it be community reach or just simply actually marketing to like companies and stuff. Have a brand out there. So I think that's the biggest difference in that regards. And I've definitely been pretty happy staying independent. It means that my content is my content alone. But I honestly wouldn't mind being part of a company either. In fact, I would prefer it just because I know I'm not savvy in the realm of marketing. I'm not a good marketer at all. So having someone who's able to take that part of the job from me would be great.
Oh yeah.
Would be very good.
I feel like just one of the things that I've noticed the most is like upholding that image of whatever corporation that you are working for versus being independent and not having to like worry about that kind of stuff. That's what I've noticed anyway.
That's fair.
All right.
There's definitely a lot of that when it comes to, especially corporations, especially
yeah.
ones that have to market themselves somehow.
Mm-hmm.
There's always a standard you have to abide by, and I think I chucked out to just professionalism.
Yeah.
A lot of people, I don't know why, but a lot of people tend to step over these boundaries and act unprofessional about a lot of things.
Mm-hmm.
But I always feel like that's usually easier just at least for me, I always find it easier to like keep the unprofessionalism to myself, because
yeah,
if I'm being unprofessional, I think it's always best to do that when you're alone.
Yeah.
I don't know. I feel like that kind of stuff isn't needed.
Yeah, knowing your boundaries when it comes to
We're out
like
there.
being on stream versus like in your private time. Definitely like an important part of being a corporate VTuber. Definitely. Okay. Oh, this is one that you've already kind of touched upon. What would you say is your main content or variety of content?
Game stream for sure. I used to do language streams as well, language learning streams. But for me, I honestly took this hobby because it was an excuse to start playing video games. More.
Yeah.
So, yeah, I kind of stick with that more and more.
Yeah.
So in terms of video games, I've always been the frugal gamer. I wasn't one to spend big money on video games. So free games were my go-to. League of Legends. These days it's more Valorant. What is it? 7 Days to Die is a game you have to pay for.
Mhm.
So it's one of those games that I don't remember if I got it from me buying or if my friends bought it for me. I can't remember. I have friends who will gift me games here and there, depending on like if it's like some sort of holiday event or something, like Christmas gifts or birthday gifts. I have friends who do that. Just be like, hey, here I have this key that I'm not using. You can have it.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I can't remember now, but 7 Days to Die is probably my favorite game that I play. It's like basically I consider it like an RPG version of Minecraft.
Ooh.
Where I do play Minecraft, and Minecraft is a game that I bought quite a while back, but yeah, Minecraft is definitely one of those games that I go back to every so often, and recently I've gone back to Minecraft Sky Factory 4. It's a modded skyblock. And I do that a lot. Like Hollow Cure, for example, is basically Vampire Survivors, but for Hollow Life fans. And it's a great game. It really separates itself from Vampire Survivor. Vampire Survivor being free on Steam, you can pay. It's a paid app on the phone, I believe. Then there is Mahjong Soul, which is more of a browser game. It can be you can also play on your phone, but I play online. And that's like one of the few ways of playing like Riichi Mahjong, something that I had to learn a lot of, because for me, what I'm used to is playing a more Chinese-centric style of Mahjong that had way less rules than Riichi Mahjong. So, it's very different, but very fun. And yeah, aside from that, I just have an extensive Steam library that I don't really touch.
Yeah. Oh gosh, I feel
not good
that.
with horror, but yeah, I not good with horror. Did finish Layer of Fears. Not finished Outlast in the middle of that.
Oh god.
But yeah, those are games I play. I occasionally pop into 100% Orange Juice with my friends. And any other like group games I've played in the past, like I've done Don't Starve, but not on stream, but I did have some friends. There's Project Winter, Among Us, what was it? Duck Duck Goose? Or was it Goose? It was Duck Duck Goose, I think it's called.
The one that's kind of
think-
like Among Us, but it's geese and ducks.
It's with ducks. Yeah. So, yeah, I honestly just have a fairly extensive Steam library from all the years of Steam sales, the summer sales of just buying like all these games that were like on like massive sales for like less than $1 each.
Oh yeah, that's the way to do it.
I would just be like, I'm slightly interested in you. Buy, and suddenly I don't play any of them.
Oh gosh.
Not to mention,
that.
I have like Amazon Prime, so I'll get games from there. Epic Game Store constantly throws free games at you anyway, so if you ever need free games, Epic Game Store has like free games every week or something like that. So it's like, so it's like, at least for me, it's like you can always find a game. It's just, do I want to play it? It's like, do I really want to play this? I don't think so.
Oh god, but I feel that too. Like just stocking up whenever all the games are just $1.
I stopped that. Yeah, I was like, this can't go on. I have so many games that I don't play. This cannot go on.
All right. Next question: do you have an Oshi mark?
I do not. I think at this point, I haven't really ever thought about it. So
That's fair though.
I don't know if I'll ever get one, but for the time being, it's just let's just use the cat emoji.
Yeah. I've been trying to get mine to catch on. I don't know if anybody actually really uses it. But I use the bat and I use the mango. And sometimes I use the peach, but normally it's the bat and the mango. Alrighty.
I
Next.
see.
Oh. Next question then. I feel like I've gotten mixed answers for this one, but do you have any streaming rituals? Things that you find that you like always do or sometimes do before you have to stream?
No.
No?
I'm not really big on the whole ritual stuff or like just a thing I do in general before doing anything. I'm the just do it type of guy. I think the only time I started doing stuff like that was in Genshin Impact, where before I do 10 pulls, because so rule for myself for Genshin Impact is if I can do a temple, I do a temple on a 5-star banner, on a character banner that I don't own the character to. Because I'm a collector, I don't really care who I pull. And the only ritual was when they released Inazuma, one of the regions in the game. There's this shrine, you can get your fortune taken there. So I just get my fortune taken there, and then do my pull.
Yeah.
And then I noticed a pretty big correlation between if I had misfortune or great misfortune, I'll usually get the banner character. If I get good fortune or modest fortune or whatever, usually I get someone else or I won't get anything at all.
Dang.
So I think it's that correlation has happened 3 times thus far. It's like a pretty spot on 3 for 3.
You sure you're not a black cat?
I don't know. But like I got like great misfortune once, and that's when I pulled my 5-star.
Gosh.
The banner 5-star, and then recently I got like modest fortune, and I was like, oh, I guess I'm not getting my 5-star, and I got an off banner 5-star from the pull instead. And I was so happy because it was a 5-star that I didn't own yet. So I was like, okay, I'll take you. In fact, it was one of the starter 5-stars too that I didn't have. It was the last one that I didn't have from the original set. So I was like, it's been how many years? You're finally here.
Nice. Right.
So yeah. So that's like the one correlation that hasn't been broken yet on my account. So it's the only real thing I really look at. But other than that, don't really do much of that.
Yeah.
I did it for funsies to start off, and as I just did it more and more, I just got a larger and larger data set to work with, and that was just a slight correlation that a fun little correlation I could pull from that experience.
I mean, it's quite strange that you have to get real bad luck in order to get the banner characters.
I don't know what that says about me, but I'll take it.
We'd still take it, it's fine. Ooh, okay. Next question. For anybody in chat who might be thinking about streaming, what would you say is the most helpful advice that you are able to give them?
Say that again?
So if anybody in chat is thinking about streaming, what would you say is the biggest piece of advice that you could give them?
How do I word this so that it doesn't sound bad?
Oh god.
I would say be yourself, but at the same time, don't hesitate to put yourself out there. Hesitation gets you nowhere. If you want to do something, don't let your feelings hold you back. In other words, be shameless. Is all I can say. And because for me, I find that for a lot of people, especially introverts, or people who actually keep to themselves. Surprise, surprise, I'm an introvert, by the way. Which, by the way, means that I get energy back when I'm alone. Does not mean that I don't like to talk to people, okay? I'm a very outgoing introvert. But I find that a lot of people are very self-conscious, and they prefer to keep to themselves and don't put themselves out there because of what ifs.
Yeah.
I say, what if this or that? Like, what if I get bad negativity thrown my way? What if someone harassed me? The only thing I can say is just put yourself out there, and you really can't let people like that get to you.
Yeah.
Even because even if you notice, even the biggest, especially the biggest people out there, they're the biggest beacons to negativities. So for stuff like streaming, it's really a whole marketing thing where you're just trying to get yourself out there. For me personally, I'm fine with keeping it as a hobby to just play games. So but for people who wants to try to make it a gig for themselves, stream to a much larger audience, don't hesitate. Just throw yourself out there and do your thing. You might not attract a following early on, but it's fine. If you keep doing it, you'll find that there will be some people that will find you, see you, and watch you and stuff like that.
That is some awesome advice. That's great.
Yeah, it's my personal take on, I guess, all the motivational songs I've listened to from Eminem. I'm a big Eminem fan, and he has a lot of very inspirational songs. Which, when you break down the lyrics, it's literally like, oh, no, you're right.
Yeah,
you're right. I should be doing stuff like that. It's and just taking finding ways to just stay motivated, stay positive.
Yeah.
That's really it. And so for me, at the very least, especially for a lot of people that I've interacted with and met with, I know it's really difficult to try to throw yourself out there, because you think to yourself, others will be like, hey, who's this guy? Who's this new guy? But it's like, everyone's gonna be a new guy at some point. So just put yourself out there and see where it goes. If you keep thinking yourself that you're gonna be the outcast, well, let me ask you this: who are you right now when you don't interact? You're nobody. You're not taking your shot. Just like the famous saying, if you miss 100% of the shots you don't take. Just go for it. I mean, it's very simple, and things people have said thousands of times, at least for me. I've heard people say that all the time. It's like, you have to take your shot, or you miss 100% of the shots you don't take. And it's so easy to say it, and doing it is a whole other thing. But at the same time, if people are willing to look for advice, it's everywhere.
Oh,
you just really need to hone in on it and motivate yourself and do it.
Yeah. I know normally when I when I try to give advice about streaming and being a streamer, the number one piece of advice that I always share is like, you have to be really comfortable just talking to yourself. That's kind of like all you can really do. You gotta, if it's not guaranteed that you will always have like an audience, it's not guaranteed that your audience will always, you know, use the chat function. So you kind of have to get really comfortable with just talking to yourself.
Absolutely. I think it probably is strange to people. I find that some people in my friends group, they naturally talk to themselves naturally, and I just think to myself, a lot of people probably are the talkative type. They just don't realize it.
Yeah.
But so many of my friends will read out loud what they're doing, like just random. We're just chilling, and like when I'm with my group of friends in Discord, we just be doing our own thing or chilling, and we're like watching videos or something, and then they're just starting to play their gacha game or whatever, and they start reading text from their game.
Yeah.
I'm like, I just go, what'd you say? Huh? And they go, what? What am I doing? Oh, I'm just playing. I'm like, oh. I feel like half the time they don't even realize they're saying out loud.
Oh yeah, absolutely
reading.
Not.
So it's like, I feel like for people like that, it's I guess you have to put into a more conscious effort when you start streaming, but honestly, that's why I say just be yourself. You'll never know if just that's enough to attract an audience or not.
Of course. Ooh, okay. We're on to the last of the I guess more in-depth questions, and then I have some more fun questions. You want to just plug your socials real quick? I put your Twitch link in the description, but if you'd like, you can always share some more places where everybody can find you.
Oh yeah, sure. If you don't mind, you can find me over at my Twitter. I'm relatively active there. Back in November, I actually went to Japan for a vacation for 2 weeks.
Oh.
So you could actually see me posting a ton of pictures that I took while I was there. It was a great time. I got sick the first day I got there.
Oh.
For my 2-week vacation, I was sick for 10 days.
Dang.
Fun times. Didn't stop me from going all over the country though. I'll tell you that much. I may be sick, but I can still ride a train.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I usually use Twitter more than my own Discord, even though it's where people can usually find me. But I really don't. I'm really not an active Discorder. Like I don't really post a lot on Discord. I really should. One thing I want to do better, especially this year, is to start cleaning up a lot of things, whether it be in my social media or my room. Definitely want to clean things up, change things around.
Yeah. Well, awesome. We'll get into all of the fun questions then. These are all just more relaxed questions. Don't gotta worry too much about how you answer it being detailed or anything. I think you already kind of mentioned it already, but what would you say is your favorite game?
Favorite game? It's always so hard to say. It's a toss-up between Minecraft, 7 Days to Die modded, League of Legends. It's so weird to throw League of Legends in there because I've been playing so long, but League of Legends is something that I started during season 3 of the game. This is like almost a decade ago now.
Wow.
And yeah, League is a very old game at this point, but League has always been one of those games where I could always go back and play with friends casually, and we would just have a fun time.
Yeah.
I think. Because as long as they keep the game mode ARAM though, all random, all mid, where everyone gets to turn their brain off and it's just constant team fighting, or constant poke, or just constant something, without the whole like Summoner's Rift. Everyone has to like slog it out for the first 5-10 minutes of just constant mechanics. and then it goes to, like, other map movements and stuff. No, we don't think about that. We think about who am I playing, how am I gonna do the most damage and have fun. But that's what I find about League. It's like if you have a group of friends who is able to just play casually like that with you, it's a ton of fun. You can play it like a I don't know how to explain it. It's like a fighting game almost.
Yeah.
But it's a toss up between that and I guess Minecraft and 7 Days to Die modded. 7 Days to Die modded because 7 Days to Die gets changed so frequently. It's such an old game. It's still an alpha because the devs decided that I'm going to change core mechanics every several other patch.
Gosh.
Yeah, so we're currently in alpha 20.
Oh my lord.
Yeah. So the game is always changing, and half the time it's because the devs try to change the game to spite the players. Just by the way, so that's why modded is like this really good modder who basically pulled like the best mechanics or what a lot of the community decide like has voted or not voted but like unanimously agreed that these are some of the best mechanics of previous versions and just kind of mix them all together while adding in more endgame type stuff.
Dang. I didn't realize that they were still in like alpha.
It's a meme that's never gonna get out of alpha, and I do think that's 7 Days to Die. It's never coming out of alpha. It's forever stuck in alpha. Forever stuck in alpha. Trust. There's no way they're gonna fix it.
Oh,
they're gonna change it until the game's dead. That's what they're gonna do.
All right.
I'm sure there's other games out there too.
Yeah.
Oh, how can I forget Genshin Impact? I've spent so many hours in this game. When the game released, I told my chat when I was streaming, I can't stream Genshin because I would be addicted to it, and I'm still in school. So I gave it a week. 1 week later, I have multiple 8-hour streams where I streamed from midnight all the way till dawn, because I didn't have to leave my house because all my school was online on Zoom. So I would finish my schoolwork. I'm in uni, but I was in uni, by the way. I finished my school stuff, finished my lectures, and then by the time I could stream, it was around midnight. So I streamed from midnight all the way till about 8 in the morning.
Gosh.
Like every day on Genshin because it is such a nice game. It's a gacha game, yes. It's a free-to-play game. You don't have to put any money into it. It has one of the biggest maps of any game out there right now. Well, I guess if you want to compare it to like much older games, there's big maps, but Genshin Impact was a big game to begin with. You saw 2 regions. You had the prologue region, you had the chapter 1 region. Then they released chapter 2 region, which was basically the entire size of the first 2 regions combined. That's the chapter 2 region. Then chapter 3 gets released, and it's the size of all 3 regions combined as its own region. You have so much content as the overworld. Not to mention there are 2 underground unloaded regions yet you can teleport to that are massive in their own right. I'm like, that's a lot of area. That's a lot of area to explore and do things. And then of course most people aren't going to be exploring there. Those are usually one-time exploration. But I'm not done fully exploring those areas anyway. So it's like whenever I want to get back to that. I took a hiatus from Genshin Impact for like several months, and I come back. I'm like, I'm never catching up again.
Yeah, Genshin always be doing stuff constantly, always expanding.
Yeah, it has some of the greatest cutscenes that I've ever experienced, and I don't know. I find it really fun. Till this day, still free to play. I've not spent a single penny on Genshin Impact.
Good.
So, and I have a bunch of 5 stars. And I think it's just one of those things where it's just like I vow to myself when I play gacha games I don't spend money. The only gacha game I've actually spent money on is Fate Grand Order. For anyone who knows FGO, and that's because the one character that I chose to throw money at was Jalter, Jean d'Arc Alter,
Mm-hmm.
who's an Avenger class, and while I can't say she's my favorite character, she's definitely up there. My favorite character is Shiki. Did not spend money for her Saber form, her 5-star form, but I did get her. I was content with her welfare 4-star version from the event, so I was like, okay, I don't need to spend more money, or I don't need to spend money. Period.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So, but also the guaranteed gacha. So basically, if FGO has this thing where, for New Year's, they have this guaranteed SSR banner that you can choose basically the different classes. There's like 6 standard classes and then your extra classes. So they have like a banner for each class and then the extra classes. Although I think they start splitting that up too. But basically, you spend paid special currency, so you have to buy it with money, and they will guarantee you an SSR from your opponent. So that's like, so basically, I threw like a little, like I bought the most expensive pack one time. I did pull Jalter, which was super lucky. So I didn't have to spend more money because some people spend thousands of dollars in that game. There's no pity for FGO veterans. They know there's no pity. I think recently they finally added in pity. Like, what is it, 4 or 5 years into the game's life? They finally threw in a pity system. For 5 stars only. Oh, you left FGO. I like it. We're entering Lost Belts. JP got to the final Lost Belt, and it has just finished the 5th one. We're entering the 6th one soon. But yeah, no, that's the money I spent the one time. I'm still using those in-game currency to this day. Like, to this day, this was several years ago. So I would spend a tiny bit of that because you get a lot, and I didn't spend that many to get Jalter anyways. Luckily. So with that paid currency, I'm still using that. I still have some left that I can still use for the next 2 banners, I think. So yeah, money well spent for me as long as I keep playing.
Heck yeah.
That's all I see. As long as I keep playing, the one time I spent money, I'm still using that money from all those years ago.
Dang. I can definitely see that you love gacha games.
I'd like to touch on almost every gacha game, but not all of them will pull me in.
Fair.
Recently, I gone back to Arknights, since my friends talked about it, and we all kind of started playing again. I started a new account because I lost my old one,
Dang.
but it doesn't matter to me. I've almost caught with all of my friends. But yeah, no, that's fun. And as always, I don't spend money. That's the thing about gacha. It always they want you to spend money. I've played so many games like that, and I don't spend a penny. It's like, no, you want me to spend money? No, absolutely not. Why is a gacha game anyway? It's a game where sometimes it can be tied to progression of the game, or sometimes it can be tied to simply getting a certain character you can have and play with. It's tied to what's known as a gacha, which is basically think of it like, if you know what loot boxes are, or like gambling. It's gambling.
Yeah, it's like a lottery.
Yeah. You spin the lottery and see what you get. The difference is, in lotteries, most of what you get is nothing. Most of what you get are blanks. Whereas in gacha games, they circumvent the whole gambling aspect by saying, you're guaranteed something, and that's all I can promise you. Because a lot of the time, that something is not what you want. It might as well be nothing. But that's just how it is.
They make it way, way more enticing at the idea of potentially getting something like that.
Be considered a gacha game? Yes, I think. I know it has in-game purchases. I've never touched Clash of Clans. If someone who has played that game, let me know if that's actually a gacha or not, because I've never touched it.
Awesome. Okay. Next question. Do you have a favorite movie?
Favorite? Graves of the Firefly, hands down.
Ooh.
For any Ghibli watcher out there, it is by far one of the saddest movies I've ever watched as a kid. Growing up, the mood stayed the same. It's sad when you watch it as a child. It's sad when you watch it as an adult. I think it gets worse once you know what the context is.
Mm-hmm.
But it's such a beautiful film. It's so beautiful.
Mm-hmm. It's an important and a gorgeous film. So I implore everybody in chat to watch it at some point.
I've seen so many Ghibli films, whether it be Spirited Away, Howl's Moving Castle. Those are like the big ones I know a lot of people watch.
Mm-hmm.
Graves of the Firefly for me is a standout one. I think the animation holds up to this day. The whole everything to that movie, to that film, is just so good.
Ooh, Bunny Rabbit asks, have y'all seen Pompo the Cinephile? I am not familiar with that title, no.
Alright, Google. What is Pompo the Cinephile? 2021. It centers on... What is it? Joel Davidovich Pompet. Who made this? Directors Takayuki Hirao.
It's an anime movie about the movie making
Clap.
industry. Oh. Interesting. I'll have to look into that then.
An 8.16 score on MyAnimeList. That's pretty high.
Ooh, nice.
It's a 94-minute film. Not too long at all. Seems pretty good.
I will check that out then. Awesome. Ooh, next question then. Do you have a favorite food or drink?
Favorite food. Ooh. You know, I did have one that I used to have as a go-to, but I haven't had it in so long that I've forgotten what it was already.
Dang.
Favorite food. I guess nowadays I would say it has to be steak. Probably something else I really like, but steak. I recently learned how to cook steak better, and so I'm slowly fine-tuning my steak making skills.
Nice.
Because I don't have a grill. I do it over a pan, so it's like I have to learn. But as I get better, my steaks taste better and better too. So it's like it's kind of nice learning all these tricks on YouTube.
Nice.
As for drinks, I would say red bean matcha. I don't know if anyone knows that flavor, but it doesn't matter if it's like an actual tea that you just throw red beans into, or if it's like a bubble tea flavor. If it's red bean with matcha, that is for me the perfect combination of a drink.
Ooh, I mean, it sounds pretty good.
Yes, matcha is a very bitter flavor, but red bean is a very sweet flavor.
Yeah.
You mix the two together, and you get that bitterness. As someone who enjoys bitterness, I know not many people has the same thought, so it might not be popular for other people, but I like bitter stuff. Matcha is a great bitter drink, and red bean is a very, very, very nice kick of sweetness to go with it. They complement each other well.
That is a very good answer.
What are my thoughts on the red fruit known as tomatoes? You grill them. If you do it any way else, they're kind of meh. As someone who lives with my family who likes to just kind of cook them like in a bowl or on the stove in a pot, and usually it's mixed with eggs. It's very very Chinese-esque style. It's meh. I mean, I'll eat it, but it's meh. I can't do raw tomatoes. I'll be honest. Like raw tomatoes, if it's in a hamburger, I can mask the flavor. I'm very not good with sour stuff. When it comes to anything sour, I'm not good at all. So I know a lot of people maybe like. No, I can't say a lot of people. People out there might like raw tomatoes. But yeah, when it comes to tomatoes, if you grill them, so good. They're grilled vegetables and fruit. I didn't notice until I started doing them myself. It changes anything sour to sweet if you do it right, and it's so amazing. I don't know the science behind it at all, but when you grill anything sour, like pineapples, grill a pineapple, you'll not regret it. If you do it right, it turns a sour pineapple that people are rather squeamish to something really sweet. It's so nice.
Grilled pineapple is S tier. Love grilled pineapple. Also, yeah, tomatoes are a very big deal around here because of chronic and chronic alone.
Apparently I passed, so yay!
Don't fall into his trap. Don't let him lull you into that false sense of security. It's not worth it.
Yeah, but I know cherry tomatoes, like the really small ones. Those are fine. I find those aren't as sour or like extreme flavor. Like, it's not extreme as a raw tomato. So I'm okay with that. I'm not saying it's a great flavor, unfortunately, but I will say it's something that I can enjoy as a quick light snack.
Nice. I'm starting to get the taste for raw tomatoes, but I'm not like quite there yet. Takes a lot.
Oh, absolutely.
Ooh, next question. What is your favorite color?
Don't let my avatar fool you, but it is indeed orange. No, these days, I would say pink is my number one flavor color.
Hey!
Orange has definitely dropped down to number 3. My second favorite color is white, if you want to call it a color. For those who don't call it a color, orange would be my second favorite color, but for those who do consider white a color rather than a tint, and do count it, yeah, it's pink, white, orange is my top 3.
I love that. That's awesome. I'm definitely a pink and white girl too, so I get it.
Nice.
Ooh, and then this one I've also gotten like a variety of answers. Do you have a favorite article of clothing?
That's a good question. I want to say yes, I do. And that piece of clothing are gloves. More specifically, fingerless gloves.
Ooh.
There's something about fingerless gloves that, in terms of fashion, it's just, for me, it's just so good. It's such a fashion statement to me, and I love fingerless gloves. I'm not very fashionable, mind you. I'm not a fashionista. I'm not a fashionista in any capacity.
Oh, that's fine.
When it comes to clothing, like if you want to say something that would be a standout on a glance, would be if you put on fingerless gloves. That's something I would notice fairly quickly.
Dang. Okay. I feel like I've kind of gone off about what my favorite thing is. I own a chat can verify this with me. I have a wide collection of dresses that I lovingly refer to as club dresses. And I adore them. I adore them very, very much.
Nice.
Awesome. All right, just a couple more questions and then we will wrap up. When it comes to your content, would you say that you are say-so, maybe PG-13, 18 plus? Like, what do you find is your kind of niche?
For the most part, I would say I would call myself say-so PG-13 just because on my channel, well, at least for my person, I don't swear. That would keep me PG-13, I suppose. Content-wise, I prefer to avoid risque content. I know more recently I'm much more open to people swearing. I don't really swear myself, so it's like, yeah, for me personally, if I'm alone, you'll practically never hear me swear. So I do enjoy it, and I don't really dabble in content that would be unsafe, so I suppose. Just not really my thing. Don't really think about it, and for the most part, I don't actively stay away from it. It's just not in my realm of interest. So
Yeah.
it just doesn't really show up at all.
Yeah. I mean, my audience is kind of used to me going off the rails every once in a while. If I have a drinking stream, or, you know, I do curse. I wouldn't say that I curse excessively, but I do curse. And, you know, I'd say I'm more PG-13, and then, I wouldn't consider myself 18 plus, but I have had some streams where I just said it that way, just to, like, make sure.
Oh yeah, I mean, I've set in the past. I set streams to be 18 plus too, especially when I was playing multiplayer games that require communication. Like when for a time I played Rainbow Six Siege, and when I played that game on stream, I've absolutely saying it to 18 plus because I don't know what people are gonna say. They might go off the rails and start cursing or saying slurs and stuff. Like I can't control what other people say, so I have to be prepared for that.
Oh, Chronic has a question for you. What is it, Chronic? What's up? I'm a little afraid knowing Chronic. I did not have to lure you guys into an 18 plus stream. Don't be telling lies in chat. I've done nothing of the sort, excuse you. No. That is not how I roll. Absolutely not.
There was no luring involved. Everyone has just sat down to watch an 18 plus stream.
Oh gosh.
Wait, June owns a cat named Luis.
Louis.
How do you feel about this, Louis? How do you feel about this blatant insult to your people? Well, one, I'm not a cat, so I'm a cat boy. There's a difference in species here. I just want to point that out. So it's not my people, unfortunately. But how do I react to a blatant insult to cats? I don't know. They deserve it.
Sheesh. Okay.
I don't know what else am I supposed to say. It's a cat that reacts when someone calls it Louis. So that's their fault.
He's just a cat. Yeah, he's not doing anything wrong. He's just a little boy.
Yeah. It could very well just not react. They could do that too.
He ignores me a lot.
Have to change the name. So it means that you are good for Nekopara? Sure.
You want to get romanced over here?
I'm pretty sure Nekopara isn't that more? Yeah, it's a romance thing, right?
Yeah.
I my knowledge of Nekopara is so little. I know next to nothing about Nekopara.
I don't know that much either. You're good.
I think wasn't there an anime about Nekopara? I can't remember now.
Was there an anime?
Nekopara. I want to say I watched it because I remember there's like Vanilla was one of the characters. Yeah, Chocola. Yeah, there was an anime. It was in 2020.
Just be careful what you're seeing over there. Gotta clear your browser history afterwards.
It's a sexual game apparently. I see.
Oh boy.
Well, throw me in the anime. That's the anime is rated PG-13, so throw me in the anime.
Oh,
yeah, I think I watched the anime. And as far as anime goes, it wasn't the worst. I mean, I watched all the episodes.
Mm-hmm. Awesome. Okay. Just a couple more questions then. Are you more of a coffee or tea person?
coffee for sure. I consume way more coffee than I do tea. But in terms of tea, I'm very much okay with getting a tea. Tea is very good.
You just find yourself more frequently going for coffee whenever you want, like, something to drink along those lines?
Well, it's just more readily available. When you have a coffee machine down in the kitchen and you have a whole case of coffee beans.
Yeah.
And you, I unfortunately, I do have a tea that's readily available. I don't know if people know what the flavor is. It's called Throat Coat.
Oh.
See, there's this one singer / voice actress named Nana Mizuki, who my favorite voice actress out there. One of her advice for people when it comes to like singing and stuff is consume throat coat tea with honey. Try it. Flavor's all right. I like it, and it helps with your throat apparently. So yeah.
I wasn't familiar with
boxes
that.
And boxes of that stuff.
Dang. Also, I guess we summoned Louis because now he is requesting cuddles, and I'm holding him. And you're causing trouble, Mr. Man. Yeah, you are. Oh, gosh. I feel like I already know the answer to this next question. Are you more of a morning or night person?
I'm a night person for sure.
Yeah.
But, if I need to be awake early on, I can be.
That's fair. And then one more little question. Do you prefer chocolate or vanilla?
Vanilla. I'm not a chocolate person.
Dang, really?
Mm-hmm.
Gotta get more chocolate people
I
in
will-
my life.
I will enjoy a piece of chocolate, as I do have chocolate.
Mm-hmm.
In fact, I have a lot of chocolate right next to me right now. I have balls of Lindor chocolate. But yeah, no. Like, if I was given a choice between chocolate and vanilla, I choose vanilla.
Hey, okay. Not a bad thing. Alright. The moment that most everybody has been waiting for in my chat. I permit all of my guests the floor for at least one hot take. It's tended to be food related. Don't know why. It doesn't have to be. But do you have a hot take that you would like to share?
I mean, I know chat's kind of anticipating a food hot take, but I know I discussed with you earlier a different type of hot take. I guess stuff like I don't know about food hot takes, huh? I know that. So I'm just gonna throw this out to chat because this is the one we talked about already.
Mm-hmm.
It's the idea that in an idealistic world, in modern day society, if all guns disappeared, we would be in a better state. No guns.
Yeah.
I know there's a lot of people that will be up in arms about it, about this whole gun situation because of practicality issues. But that's why I said in an idealistic world, where we're into today's society level of advancement, but no one has guns. Guns don't exist.
Yeah. We had just, I wouldn't say super lengthy conversation, but we touched on a lot of the points. And you know, I'm not against speaking about politics on my channel because it feels like an important thing to talk about sometimes. And in my opinion, and I agree with you like full-heartedly, the only situation where I feel it is necessary for us to really have guns per se would be for hunting purposes, but we already have other technologies that we can use besides like having a firearm, so they're not necessary. And you know, certainly would be a lot better off if we didn't have to worry about like a lot of military stuff going on and, you know, all of that scary stuff to think about. So I agree full-heartedly.
Mm-hmm. And I know there's always going to be like a purpose. Like the thing about guns and the creation of gunpowder is that it's a cornerstone in human civilization and the advancement of technology.
Yeah.
So that's why in my idealistic world, I propose that we're at the same level, but just guns never enter the equation.
Yeah. Still have all the other scientific advancements, technological advancements that we have in the modern day age. We never got to the point of developing guns as a thing that exists. And, again, like I said when we were just talking before stream, I can see it, like, being okay in, like, fantasy and video games, because, again, it doesn't really matter. But in a very similar way, like, we as a society can live without, like, electricity and stuff. It's it's more common and we've become slightly more dependent on it, but it's not necessary for us to, like, live. So it's a very similar train of thought to that. It's not necessary.
It's just a quick question from me to you. It's do you know Spanish? I know that you have a lot of Spanish speakers.
Oh, I actually do not know Spanish, but I more than welcome, like, anybody to speak any language they want. The only other language that I know is French, and I would love to learn Indonesian at some point. Just haven't gotten around to it.
Nice.
But yeah, I speak English and I speak French.
I have the same thing for my channel too. Anyone can speak whatever language they want.
Yeah.
I think let me see if I got this right. Let me see from my memory here. Perdón, no sé español. I believe that's how I say sorry. I don't know. It's Spanish. I believe.
Oh, okay. Oops. Takagi is requesting that I speak French. What should I say in French? I feel like there's one phrase that I said it the last time I was in another interview with I believe it was Link. Say, where is the toilet? Où est le salle de bain? Or would it be WC?
I remember how to ask permission to go to the toilet in French.
Oh, puis-je aller à toilette, s'il vous plaît?
Oh, there's that. There's also the one that we were taught was est-ce que je peux aller à toilette?
Ah, okay. I had
yeah, that's the first.
I had this one teacher who taught French, and she was like the first teacher that everybody had before everybody moved on to the more advanced courses, and she was a very big stickler for, like, having perfect, like, politeness with it. So that's why we always had to say puis-je aller à toilette, s'il vous plaît? Est-ce que je peux aller à toilette? Oh gosh.
Yeah. That's a funny thing about languages, I find, especially when they're taught as a second language in a lot of schools, is that you become far more polite than a native speaker.
Oh yeah, because it's kind of ingrained in the way that you learn the language. It just gets embedded in the way that you learn, I suppose.
Because on one hand, when you're teaching it or when you're learning it, you're learning it for the purpose of learning the language as a whole. Whereas native speakers, they don't learn the language in that regard. They might have the class in said language, yes, but they use it so frequently with everyone else that they drop the formalities very quickly.
Yeah.
It becomes a thing where formalities is only for occupational purposes or school purposes, not everyday purposes. Versus people who learn the language outside of that specific country, they don't use the language for everyday conversations, so they use what they have, which is what they were formally taught.
I would really love to brush up on my French a little bit more, because again, it has been years since I've actually, like, had anybody that I can use the French language with, and I've lost a lot of, like, the knowledge that I previously had, because I used it all the time before, and now I don't. but maybe one day I'll be able to get it back up there. I don't know.
Makes sense. Yep.
Alrighty, well, those are all the questions that I had for you. Is there anything else that you'd like to share as we wrap up the stream today?
No, I think I'm good.
Awesome. Well, again, Tsubasa, thank you so much for being on the show. It was lovely getting to interview you, and I enjoyed it a lot. This was really, really, chill. I'm surprised that with such a big, hot take topic like that, we didn't spiral into insanity the way that we have tended to every other episode. So that was a nice change of pace. And again, guys, make sure you show Tsubasa plenty of love. The link to their Twitch account is in the description below. You guys can probably also find links to Twitter and Discord as well. I know you joined my server. Thank you so much for joining, by the way.
I figured I'd check it out.
Yeah. I mean, we just kind of go crazy in there, so it's fine. I think I will take a couple more minutes to hang out with chat, but I will let you go. Again, make sure that you show Tsubasa some love. And again, thank you so much for joining me today. I loved this. This was awesome.
Thank you very much for having me, and thank you, chat, for being very nice to me today. Thank you very much.
Of course, of course. You have a wonderful day then, Tsubasa. I'll see you later.
You as well, yeah. Catch you later.
Bye.
Bye, everyone.
All right, y'all. Now it's just us. Again, I wanted to take the time to, I guess, just hang out with you guys a little bit. Oh, Tsubasa, I don't know if they have a YouTube account or not. You can... Oh, yep, there he is. Yes, the answer is yes. Again, thank you guys so much for joining me today. I am so sorry for the way that, the schedule this week has been going. There's a lot of stuff going on, and I was, really sick this morning, but I really didn't want to cancel stream again, so I powered through. I took a lot of medicine, and you guys can probably tell I'm a little bit sleepy. The medicine definitely doesn't help with me wanting to go to bed. But I will, I gotta figure out the schedule for this upcoming week still. And yeah, again, thank you guys so much for joining me. Rest, June, and hydrate. I will. Thank you, Indy. I know I didn't get to say hi to you guys, personally the way that I normally do whenever I'm streaming alone, but I appreciate seeing all of you guys being so active in chat and saying hello. It really, really means the world to me. And yeah, thank you guys so much for joining me today. I hope you have a wonderful rest of your morning, your afternoon, your evening, whatever it might be, wherever you are, and I will definitely go get some rest and figure out the schedule for you guys. Have a good one, everybody. I'll see you later. Love you guys. Bye-bye.